And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Aquarius for 2020. It's a generalized forecast for the whole sign for the whole year. So you're not going to get too many specifics out of me, but I will be talking a lot about individual birthdays. Before I do that, let's look at some of the more generic things that are happening to the sign of Aquarius over the coming year. Let's start with the once every year Aquarian new moon. This is taking place on the 24th of January this year, and it's taking place at 4.5 degrees of Aquarius. Now, this is bringing to an end a 2-year cycle of moons, eclipses and things like that have been happening at the 4 degrees Aquarius, 4 degrees Leo cycle. So those of you born around the 24th of January and also around the 25th, 26th, 27th of July, this last few years has not been that easy. It's been very disruptive, unpredictable. That is now drawing to a close. But this new moon on the 24th of January, it's in a nice enough position. It's not being affected by any other planet in the sky. So it's a chance, especially for all Aquarians, to begin something new, a new attitude, a new philosophy, a new belief, a new project, a new relationship, a new job. Anything you begin around the 23rd, 24th of January this year, you should find that you've got, before you even start, a 5 to 10% better chance than average of it working out in a way that you want it to. The Aquarian full moon will be on the 3rd of August this year. This is taking place at 11.75 degrees of Aquarius. It's particularly going to impact on those Aquarians born around the 1st, 2nd of February. And if you're one of these people, then that full moon on the 3rd of August is a time to be cautious. The full moon will be squaring Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. So I do suspect that around the first 2 or 3 days of August is going to be quite a few unpredictable, somewhat disruptive and maybe challenging developments in the world, and this could particularly impact on Aquarians, especially those of you born at the very start of February. So forewarned is forearmed. Be cautious. Don't take risks. Just count to 10, just for a couple of days around the start of August. Now, Mercury is going to spend quite a bit of time in Aquarius over this coming year. Mercury moves into Aquarius on the 16th of January. Have I got that right? Yes, I have. On the 16th of January. It then leaves Aquarius on the 3rd of February and moves into the next door sign of Pisces, but then it goes retrograde. And then Mercury will retrograde back into Aquarius on the 4th of March, before standing still on the 10th of March, and then finally leaving Aquarius again on the 16th of March. So for all of you, but especially those of you born at the end of Aquarius, i.e. around the 17th, 18th, 19th of February, you may well find that this time around the first 10 days of March, maybe the first 2 weeks of March, gets a bit frenetic. Sparks coming out the ears, a bit discombobulated, lots and lots and lots of information and no resolution, lots of words, no answers. So I have to say that the time from mid-January to mid-March, 16th of January to 16th of March, is not a good time for you to be making long-term large-scale plans or changes of course or travel plans or signing contracts or doing anything like that, because it's not going to be until you're into mid-March that you're going to have the clarity, or at least, until the 16th of March, you're not going to get the clarity and the objectivity to be able to say, right, this is what I think, with conviction. Venus starts the year in Aquarius and will stay there until the 13th of January. But it's just the first 12-13 days of the year that Venus is with you. Mars moves into Aquarius on the 30th of March, and it will stay there until the 13th of May. Now, those of you born at the start of Aquarius, you will find that the first week of April is going to get very charged, dynamic and projective. Those of you born at the end of Aquarius, then the second week of May is going to be similar. All of you will go through a 3 or 4 day period between the end of March and the middle of May, when Mars passes on top of your Sun, where you will feel much more energized, projective and assertive, but also impatient, impulsive and rash. And you could easily take stupid chances which won't work out. So do remember to count to 10 over this period of mid-March to late May. You'll be glad you did. Now, the outer planets. 3 of them I'm really not bothered about. I'm not bothered about Neptune because Neptune's in the next door sign to you of Pisces, where he's already been 7 or 8 years, and he's not changing anytime soon, and there's no relation there. So I'm not looking at Neptune's influence upon you in any shape or form. Similarly, I'm not looking at the influence of Pluto in the other next door sign to you, that of Capricorn, all year, not impacting on you at all. So the unconscious, the subconscious, the transpersonal, it's working. And if it's working, you don't fix it. So there's no need for therapy or counselling or anything like that. Jupiter is going to spend 95% plus of 2020 in Capricorn. Again, a sign you have little in common with. But then we come to Saturn and Uranus, and I'll come back to Jupiter in a minute. Uranus in Taurus. Although Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus now and for the next 6 years. And over recent years, over this last year, Uranus has been squaring the Sun of those of you born around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th of January. And it's not been an easy year. It's been disruptive, chaotic, dramatic, but also stimulating and innovative. This is still going on until early March of 2020, at which point Uranus moves on. And from early March onwards, Uranus begins to square the Sun of those of you born around the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th of January. And if you're one of these people, then this coming year is going to have more than its fair share of concentrated and compressed change. Change can be chaotic, dramatic, sudden and unpredictable, a sudden tsunami of change coming through your life and trashing everything, especially if you're rigid, stubborn, inflexible. Change can equally be stimulating, innovative and original, and it can open you up into new ways of experiencing, seeing and dealing with the world. It can help you upgrade and renovate and re-evolutionize yourself. Change is coming. There's nothing you can do to avoid that. It's how you deal with it that's up to you. So if you're stubborn and you refuse to make changes, then change will have its way with you. And if you're willing to go with the flow, then it should be fun. This is going to happen to all of you, but particularly those of you born in the last 4 or 5 days of January. Thing is, Saturn's going to stick his nose into Aquarius at the very end of March, where he's then going to stay until the very start of July. So from the very end of March, all of April, all of May, all of June, and then the very start of July, Saturn's going to be impacting the lives of those of you born around the 20th, 21st, possibly the 22nd of January. And this is a foretaste of what's to come. Saturn will be in Aquarius in the second quarter of 2020. And this is perhaps a good time to be looking at your lives in terms of, okay, what can I afford to let go of? What is still of value and worth? And what can I weed, prune, streamline, clear the decks with, let go of? And I suggest that any kind of downsizing or clearing of the decks that you do in the second quarter of this year will have really positive outcomes come 2021, when both Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius all year. 2021 is going to be a really big year for all of you. So the changes and preparation that you do in 2020 will go a long way towards determining what 2021 is going to be like. I also need to comment on the movements of Jupiter and Saturn at the very end of 2020. Saturn moves into Aquarius on the 17th of December. Jupiter moves into Aquarius on the 19th of December. So, and then the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction will be on the 21st of December. So this is quite a significant time. It's going to lead to some really big opportunities in 2021, business-wise, professionally, financially. But if this is going to work, it's because you're going to be putting the hard work in terms of restructuring roots and foundations during 2020, especially during the second quarter of the year. So that's the time for hard choices. It's not that difficult a year this year, but use 2020 so that 2021 becomes the year of really big growth. It's the best time, 2021, that it's been for at least 12 years. Okay, big thank you to all those Aquarians who have helped me over this last year, particularly in terms of all the gigs, tours, lectures, workshops, and the donations. This is my 10th year of putting out astrology into the world free of charge on YouTube. I shall continue to do it as best as I can, but it's because of people like you who make those little donations. It's people like you who keep me going. So here's to you and 2020. Thank you very much. Have a happy new year.